At my engagement dinner, my Emile pulled out a ring box and gave my fiancé her old wedding ring. In front of me. "This is the ring you were supposed to give her," she said. He froze. I just sat there. I didn't cry. I didn't fight. I just left the table. 1 week later, I called off the wedding. 1 year later, that same ring was posted on an auction site with a caption that read, "Traditions don't make marriages.
Choices do."
Let me tell you how I ended up calling off my wedding and exposing a family in the most quiet, brutal way possible.
I'm 32.
I live just outside of Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a paralegal. Not rich, not flashy, just steady. I'd been married once before in my early 20s, young and stupid, and it ended fast. Nothing dramatic, just two people who weren't ready. 3 years ago, I met Sean. He was calm, polite, respectful. We met at a regional legal conference in Savannah. He was from a good family, too good really. His mom, Colleen, was the kind of woman who ran the women's group at her church and gossiped in the same breath as she prayed. You know the type. From the start, Colleen didn't like me. I knew it. She didn't say it outright, but it was there in the way she corrected me when I spoke, the way she side-eyed my tattoo, it's a small one on my wrist, the way she always brought up Sean's ex from college. The one who was from a good family and still unmarried. Sean told me not to let it get to me. "She'll come around," he said. She didn't. When Sean proposed, we picked out the ring together. A modest sapphire in a silver setting. I didn't want anything big. I didn't need diamonds or flash. He was nervous when he asked me, but it was sweet. We were in the park with my dog, and he just dropped to one knee and asked. No speeches. No camera. Just us. I said yes. A week later, his mom found out. She didn't congratulate us. She called Sean and said, "So this is really happening?" He didn't tell me that right away. I found out when I saw the text pop up on his phone while he was in the shower. I didn't say anything then, either. I should've, but I let it slide. I wanted peace. Colleen called the next day. She said she wanted to host a small engagement dinner for us. Just close family. I hesitated. She said she wanted to do things the proper way. Sean was excited. He said it was a good sign. It wasn't. The dinner was held at this old restaurant just outside Mount Pleasant, the kind of place with white tablecloths and a menu where the prices are missing. I felt out of place walking in, but I wore a simple dress and smiled. I had my hair done, even got my nails redone the day before. I wanted to show her I could fit in, whatever that meant. The guests were mostly her side of the family. Sean's aunts, his cousins, even a great-uncle I'd never met. No one from my side was invited. She said it was just her way of welcoming me into the family. The food was fine. The wine was too expensive. Everyone was talking like it was a wedding rehearsal. She had printed menus, personalized name cards, even had a slideshow of Sean growing up. And then, right after the main course, she stood up, raised her glass, said something like, "We're so proud of Sean, and we're learning to accept the choices he's made." That word, choices, cut deep. I remember clenching my fists under the table. Then she said, "There's something I've been saving for this day." She pulled out a small velvet box from her purse, and she looked straight at Sean. "This is the ring you were supposed to give her." She opened the box. Inside was a thin, yellow gold band with a chunky, outdated diamond. Her wedding ring. I recognized it from pictures. Sean just froze. Didn't say a word. I looked at the ring, then at him, then at her. No one else moved. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I didn't even blink. I just stood up. I left my purse, my coat, my phone. I walked out of the restaurant, down the block, and into my car. I drove back to my apartment in silence. It was over an hour away. The next morning, Sean showed up. He said he didn't know she was going to do that. Said he was just as shocked as I was. I asked him why he didn't say anything, why he just sat there while his mother embarrassed me in front of all those people. He had no answer.
I didn't yell.
I didn't accuse. I just said, "I need time." He texted every day after that. I didn't answer most of them. A week later, I mailed the engagement ring back to him. No note. Then I changed my locks. I called off the wedding 2 days after that. He didn't fight it. I moved on. Slowly. Quietly. Therapy helped. Friends helped. I got a new apartment and a new routine. Life moved on. Exactly a year later, I was scrolling through a local auction site, just wasting time before bed.
And I saw it.
The ring. Her ring. Same gold band. Same stone. Same old box. But the caption under it? Traditions don't make marriages. Choices do. The seller?
Sean.
He was selling his mother's wedding ring. That ring had been in their family for over 70 years. I knew because she told me, twice, how it was her mother's before hers, and how it was meant for a real bride, not a second-hand one. And now he was selling it for $1,200. I screenshotted the listing. I posted it in our town's Facebook group, where Colleen is a moderator. Then I posted it to my page. Then I printed it out and mailed a copy to her house. No note, just the photo. She called me 3 days later. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. Why would you humiliate our family like this? I didn't respond. Because I didn't have to. I never said a word. But that caption? That said everything. After the post, things started to get loud around me, but I stayed quiet. It didn't take long before people started commenting. The Facebook group lit up. Some folks didn't even know Colleen had a son. Others remembered Sean from high school and were shocked. A few women tagged each other saying, "Isn't this the ring she used to brag about at church?" Within hours, the listing disappeared from the auction site. But the screenshot lived. I didn't take it down. Not from my page. Not from the group. I didn't add a caption. Didn't explain.
Just let people talk.
By the second day, I started getting messages. From people I barely knew. A woman named Jackie, who used to date Sean in college, messaged me to say, "That family always played games. You dodged a bullet." Another woman, Ashley, said she worked at the florist where Colleen used to order arrangements every week. "She used to tell us you weren't the forever type. That woman never planned to let you in." It made me sick and angry, not at them, at myself for ever thinking I could win her over. Then something else happened. I got a call from Sean. I stared at the screen for a long time before I picked up. He sounded tired.
Defeated. "Can we talk?" he said.
"No," I said. "Not unless you've got something real to say." He was quiet for a second. Then he said, "I didn't post that ring to hurt her. I just didn't want it anymore. It felt cursed." I didn't say anything.
He went on.
"I didn't know people would find it, that they'd make it public. You put it on the internet," I said. "With that caption." He took a breath. "That caption was for me. Then why'd you leave me alone at that table?" I asked. Another long pause. I was scared. I didn't know how to stand up to her. There it was. The truth. He hadn't just frozen at the dinner. He froze for 2 years. Every time she disrespected me, every time she made a comment, he froze. "I was raised to keep the peace," he said. "And I was raised to walk out when I'm not wanted," I replied. We didn't yell. We didn't cry. The call lasted 4 minutes. That was the last time we spoke. But the story didn't end there. A few weeks later, I was at the grocery store and ran into one of Colleen's church friends. Sweet older woman named Darlene. She looked uncomfortable. "Just so you know," she said, "Colleen told everyone you were the one who sold the ring. Said you stole it." I stared at her. My stomach turned. She what? She's saying it to save face. But no one's buying it. Most people think she pushed you out because you weren't her kind. I was fuming. Not because of the lie, but because she was still trying to play the victim. I went home that night and pulled out my old planner. The one I used during the engagement. I flipped through the pages, contacts for the venue, the caterer, the dress shop. And I found it. The email thread between me, Sean, and the jeweler we met with when choosing the ring. The sapphire one. In the thread, Sean talks about how he doesn't want anything from his family, and how it's important the ring comes from us, not her.
Proof. Clear as day.
I took a screenshot and posted it under my original Facebook post.
No caption.
Just the image. 2 hours later, I got a message from Colleen. Not a call. A message. Please take it down. Enough damage has been done. I stared at that message for a long time. And I didn't reply. Because she was right. The damage had been done. She just never thought it would hit her. Part 3. When the past comes back wearing a new face a week after I posted that email thread, things went quiet online. No more comments. No more messages. Even Colleen had gone silent. But something still didn't sit right. Not because of her. Because of him.
Sean.
There was something in that phone call that stayed with me. Not what he said, but what he didn't say. When he told me he posted the ring because it felt cursed, I believed him. But I also knew Sean. He wasn't someone who did things without thinking. He overanalyzed everything. For him to sell that ring, his mother's ring, the one she swore she'd passed down, it meant something bigger had happened. Then I found out what it was. 3 weeks after the Facebook post, my friend Allison texted me. Check Colleen's page. Look at her latest photo. I hesitated. I hadn't looked at Colleen's profile since the fallout. But curiosity won. There she was, all dressed up in a soft pink suit, standing next to a smiling young woman in a church hallway. Caption. So proud to welcome Brittany to the family. When you know, you know. I felt my whole body go cold. Sean was standing next to them, his arm around this woman, Brittany. She was wearing a ring. A sapphire ring. Not identical to mine, but close. I clicked on her profile. Open.
Public.
Her bio read, Teacher.
Faith.
Family. Future Mrs. H. Her timeline was full of church events, baking photos, and selfies with Sean that went back 6 months. 6 months. We broke up almost a year ago, which meant he started dating her not long after everything went down. Or maybe even before. That curse he mentioned? That wasn't about guilt. It was about starting fresh. Suddenly, everything made sense. Why he froze at the dinner. Why he didn't fight harder to stay. Why he posted that ring with such a dramatic caption. He didn't want to face me. He just wanted a clean slate. A do-over. And Colleen? She found the right bride this time.
Young.
Church-going. No history. The kind of woman she could shape. I wanted to walk away. I told myself to just let it go. But I couldn't. Not because of Sean. Because of her. This Brittany girl had no idea what she was marrying into. She didn't know what Colleen was capable of. What Sean let happen. So, I did something I didn't expect from myself. I messaged her. Simple. Polite.
No threats. Ibritan.
I know we don't know each other, but I wanted to offer you something. Not drama. Just honesty. If you ever want to know what it was like being with Sean and what Colleen did to me, I'll tell you. No pressure. Just think of it as a safety net, not a warning. She didn't reply. Not right away. But 2 nights later, she did. I thought you'd say awful things. But you didn't. So I'll listen. What happened? I told her. All of it. From the first rude glance to the engagement dinner to the ring auction. She didn't interrupt. She didn't accuse. She asked questions. Smart ones. Like, did he ever stand up for you? And did she ever apologize? When I told her no, she was quiet. Then she said something I'll never forget. I thought they were perfect. But I also wondered why he never talked about you. Now I get it. That was all. We didn't become friends. I didn't try to ruin her relationship. I just told her the truth. She had to make her own choices now. But 2 days later, the photo on Colleen's page disappeared. Then all the engagement pictures vanished from Brittany's profile. A week later, her bio changed. Now it just says, Teacher.
Faith. Free.
I never asked what happened. I didn't need to. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's quiet. And it spreads like wildfire. Final part. When every lie comes full circle after Brittany changed her bio, I stayed off social media for a while. I didn't need to see the fallout. I already knew what was happening. I had told my truth. I didn't twist anything. Didn't exaggerate. I let the truth do what it always does. It settled in and rotted the lies from the inside out. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. And then I got a letter. Not a call. Not a text. A handwritten letter. From Sean. It was short. 1 page. Neat handwriting like always. I didn't know how to fight her, so I didn't. I just hoped it would get better. And then I replaced you with someone I thought would be easier. I didn't see what I was doing until I watched Brittany walk away, too. That ring wasn't cursed. I was. And I'm sorry. That was it. No, take me back. No, let's talk. Just regret.
Raw. Late.
And useless. A part of me felt something, maybe pity, but it passed. I folded the letter, tucked it into a drawer, and moved on. But karma wasn't done yet. A month after the letter, my friend Allison texted again. Guess who showed up at the church, social looking like a ghost? I didn't even ask who. I knew.
Colleen.
She'd been trying to get Brittany back into Sean's life, throwing events, inviting her to Bible study. But Brittany wasn't biting. Then it got worse. Word got out about what Colleen said to me. About the dinner. The ring. Turns out, someone had recorded part of it, just the audio. One of Sean's cousins, who thought it was just so old school funny, had saved it. And someone, God bless them, uploaded it anonymously to a private community group that Colleen helped run. She was heard saying the words, "This is the ring you were supposed to give her." And then nothing. Just silence. You could hear the breath leave the room. When people listened to that clip, they didn't hear a sweet tradition. They heard control, disrespect, manipulation. The church elders quietly asked her to step back from leadership. A few families stopped inviting her over. Even her friends started calling her old-fashioned, but not in a kind way. Colleen didn't lose everything. Just the illusion of being untouchable.
Sam?
He moved out of town. Took a job in Raleigh. A fresh start, I guess. I heard he's not dating anyone now. That letter he wrote was real. But that doesn't mean it was enough. Because he still let it all happen. He still sat there. And me? I made mistakes too. I should have walked away sooner. I should have stood up for myself louder, earlier. But I stayed. I wanted to believe love would fix it. That's on me. But I made peace with that. Because in the end, I didn't need revenge. I just needed truth. And when it finally came out, it did more damage than any screaming match ever could. So when people ask me why I never married Sean, I just say, because he didn't lose me at the dinner table. He lost me the moment he let someone else take my seat. And if they ask about the ring, I smile and say, it got sold. Like a lie with a price tag. And then I walk away. Because that's what real endings feel like.
Quiet.
Heavy. And final.